The Bengals' preseason loss to the Eagles may have just created a whole new roster battle, and in this video, I'll explain the conversation that the coaching staff now needs to have. Hi again, Bengals fans. John Sheeran of A to Z Sports Cincinnati here, and the Bengals just can't seem to win a preseason game to save their life, and a lot of that has to do with not so good quarterback play. Joe Burrow, perfectly fine. 9 for 10, couple of touchdowns, one of them called back. He was rather mad at himself for missing the first throw of the game to T. Higgins, but I think they'll take a passer rating of 157 10 times out of 10. The other quarterbacks behind him, on the other hand, not so good. And that's where a conversation may need to be had entering the second week of the preseason. Because Jake Browning wasn't just bad. He was XFL backup quarterback type bad. He only had one interception on the stat sheet, but he could have easily had 3 or 4 if the Eagles didn't drop those passes. And the interception itself, it was on a screen pass. You never even see that in the preseason. Now, I don't want to make this too dramatic because at the end of the day, Jake Browning is a backup NFL quarterback, and he was going against a defense that has more depth compared to the average NFL defense. But this performance was a little bit eye-opening, considering that Browning has this reputation for being one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league. And the offense scored 3 points in the 2 quarters that he was out there for the majority of the time. That's just not good enough. I don't think there was a protection issue necessarily. I don't think the receivers weren't necessarily getting open. I think he was just inaccurate and erratic, and it just led to stalled drives. And if there is a conversation to be had here, is if Desmond Ritter actually has a chance to out him as quarterback 2 now. Because outside of a couple of really good throws, I don't think Ritter was definitively better than Browning in this game. I think he also had accuracy issues, typically with overthrowing guys over the middle. But when he was brought in, he was strictly labeled as quarterback 3, and he was fighting for reps there, while Browning was the number 2. But again, Browning was so bad, and Ritter did have that touchdown to Tanner Hudson and the 48-yard pass to Jamoy Mays, that I think you have to entertain the idea of a competition now starting in the second half of the preseason. The Bengals aren't tied financially to Browning no more than they are to Ritter right now. And if this is a preview for the Browning that we're going to see for the rest of the preseason, then Desmond Ritter, he's got something to play for now. Again, I don't want to be dramatic. I don't want to be the hot take guy. I'm not here to say that Desmond Ritter is by far the second best quarterback on the Bengals roster right now. I'm simply saying that if there wasn't a conversation about the backup quarterback position before, there definitely should be now. And this puts a ton of pressure on Browning to perform in the second half against the Commanders while Joe Burrow takes the first half. Because if he lays another egg, I don't know if the Bengals coaching staff can tolerate that and just roll with him into the season. I think it also doesn't help that the Eagles backup quarterback Tanner McGee looked like Tom Brady out there against the Bengals defense that clearly lacks a lot of depth in the cornerback room, and that's a completely separate issue on its own. But a vanilla playbook and the surrounding talent around him, it shouldn't limit a quarterback as much as it apparently did Browning last night. Like, you want to use the preseason as an evaluation for some of these guys playing in this offense, and it's really hard to evaluate an offense that's being run into the ground by the quarterback. What Ritter does have going for him is that obviously he's more physically gifted. He's bigger, faster, stronger. He was a 3rd-round pick while Browning was an undrafted free agent. Like, there's definitely talent there with Ritter. The consistency is obviously not there, and that's a huge factor in this decision as a whole, but the upside is definitely there, and that's an argument that Browning is just not going to win. There are many other roster battles happening in Cincinnati right now, but I think we may have just seen the birth of a new one behind Joe Burrow.